All right, guys. So, Yaniv, why don't we kick it off talking? We talked about how we met initially, but why don't you start off by telling us kind of who you are and what you do?
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So first, also the point of this session, which I was telling Eric, is we want to share as much information as we possibly can to help you with kind of growth tactics that you can kind of use today, go into your business after this conference, and grow. So hold us to it. We're going to try to share as much great knowledge as we possibly can. My name is Yaniv. I'm with a company called Nextiva. Our core product is business phone service. We started the company a little over 10 years ago, actually 11 years ago. We're based in Phoenix, Arizona, and started really small. The company started in literally with just an idea and a tiny Regis office with a few guys, and today we have a team of over 1,000 people, and we literally compete with some of the biggest companies in the world, and it's a lot of fun because we've done it with no outside funding, no investors, and the business has grown to well over 170 million in revenue, and there's a lot of kind of marketing tactics and things that I think we've done that have really helped us get to where we are.
Cool. And where were you before Nextiva? Because you've had some businesses that were kind of a nuisance. Can you talk about that one? How much revenue that one was driving? That was a nuisance.
A nuisance?
Yeah.
The nightclub?
No, oh, the nightclub. Oh, that's right. You used to own a nightclub too.
Well, yeah, I owned a nightclub for a while.
Yeah.
But when I actually started my career as a sales rep, I was 16, 17 years old in Santa Monica. Just needed a job. I was really fortunate to meet a guy named Thomas Gorney. Was doing the 6 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. shift selling web hosting. After that, I went to SMC, did night classes at Santa Monica College, and then transferred to UCLA. Didn't really go to class, just focused on work. And in the web hosting business, after a few months, I did really well as a sales rep, but then I saw an opportunity to really help the business grow in marketing. I'd never done online marketing before. I was really young. They took a chance, and I really just focused on really doing more than anyone else has ever done in marketing for that company. And we really grew that business really fast to hundreds of thousands of customers, ended up merging with a number of competitors, and the business sold for over $1 billion, and ended up, after that, Thomas had an idea for a website security company back when people weren't thinking about website security. Like in 2006, 2007, everyone was obsessed with computer security, not website security. So started a company called SiteLock, and that company grew to a great size and sold last year.
How much revenue was it doing per year?
For SiteLock?
Yeah.
Over 60.
Yeah, so this was the nuisance.
Yeah. Not as much as Nextiva. And Nextiva is a tremendous opportunity, but a lot of great stories along the way. So.
Cool. And so one trend I see, like looking at even at SiteLock or even being in web hosting at Nextiva, you've worked a lot with partners, channel partners, affiliates, whatever you want to call them. So can you talk about what you've done and how big of an impact they've been?
Yeah. Affiliates are a big part of our business. I've always been a fan of affiliate marketing. Let me just go into one idea. I'm going to borrow an idea I got from Syed back there. That's pretty game-changing from an affiliate marketing perspective. Let's say you have a product launch. Hopefully you have an affiliate program. When you have a product and you want to get it out there, obviously affiliates, they'll pay you, or you'll pay them based on performance. They bring traffic, you sell the product, you pay them. But one thing that Syed came up with, which I think is brilliant, is paying affiliates not only for sales or leads, but paying them for content. If you're launching a product, pay them $20 an article, 500 words, get the word out, have them publish content on your behalf, and whether it's commission junction, impact radius, share a sale, you can really push a ton of kind of content around your product that's very favorable and positive by simply just paying affiliates. And so if you have an affiliate program, I think that's a an unknown or unleveraged, like no one's doing this, and it's a great way to just get a ton of content out there on usually high domain authority kind of sites.
Wow, when did you guys talk about this? Wonder if I missed this. Anyway, so
It was a month. You were there.
Was I?
Yeah, you
I
were
must
there.
have been like daydreaming.
You
or
weren't paying
something.
attention.
Okay, I guess here's a question for you, Yaniv. What do you think is the most important thing to growing a company? If you had to pick one thing, what would it be? Like, we talk about marketing and all this stuff all the time. Like, what is that one thing?
I think being relentless. Like, at the end of the day, if you're really, like I'll use the Nextiva example. So many times, like when we first started, people thought we were like stupid to start a phone company. Like, why would you start a phone company? There's tons of phone companies out there. But we felt that there was a gap. And we didn't know anything about the world of business phone systems or phones, but we just knew that there was a huge market and no one was serving it the right way, and we just went after it. So surrounding yourself, like Neil said, with great people, I think that also means the people that you work with, like your employees or your team members. Everywhere in life, you want to be around people that make you better, and just if someone closes the door on you, go in through the window. Just don't give up.
I would say, I mean, you just hit the nail on the head. What I was thinking was people, right? And so the one thing you and I talk a lot about is people. It doesn't matter what marketing tactics we're using. The fact of the matter is, the older we get, we can't be on top of everything, right? So I do want to talk about how, I remember Gaetano, right there, in the Miami Heat hat, he made a video on how Nextiva is creating the Golden State Warriors team. Maybe it should be the Toronto Raptors now, but a championship marketing team. So can you talk more about that?
Yeah, I would say as a marketer, really early in my career, I was very much focused on just hiring anyone I possibly could. Like, if a resume would come in, the person passed, I would say, okay, hire them. But kind of to Neil's point, which was like, don't bring dumb people home. Like, don't bring dumb people to work. Like, don't work with people that don't make you better. And I think there's three principles or three things that I look for when hiring. First is you want people that are great at what they do. Like, yeah, you'll find a jack of all trades marketer, but if you're hiring for, let's say, I don't know, an SEO manager, like, you want someone that lives and breathes SEO. Don't take you can take a risk on someone that's just trying SEO, but I'd much more kind of lean towards people that like live and breathe, know that they love SEO, and when they go to sleep at night, they're thinking about SEO. They're not thinking about some random kind of other career. Second, you want to surround yourself with people that get things done, doers. People that, especially in an office, like, you work with people that 4:50 on Thursday, and they're thinking about happy hour at 5 p.m. They're thinking about going home and just, checking out, and they'll come back the next day. Don't get me wrong, work-life balance is important, but if you love what you do, you want people that just have that urge, because nothing that anyone's done here in marketing or anything you've published is ever done. Like, it could always be better. You can always optimize. You can always do more. So with that kind of thought, you want people that think that way. And third is you want no assholes. People that are good, people that are happy, people that make you kind of make you a good person or a better person. And just recently I interviewed someone that was phenomenal when you think about like the role, but one thing that we definitely saw was just like very negative, and you can get that in the interview. Just like came across negative, and we're just like, fuck it. Like, as good as you are at that job, we don't need negativity.
Yeah, actually, there's a couple of people I've interviewed in the past where everything was perfect, and I do this character test with, God, this is going on YouTube, huh? Okay, whatever. So, here, let's do this instead. What Disney used to do is, I don't know if this is true or not, but they would leave, like, if Yaniv's waiting in the lobby, they would leave a piece of trash next to him, and they'd see if he'd pick it up. If he does not pick it up, he basically doesn't move forward. So it's a character test. So we do something similar to that, and it's like, man, everything's perfect, conversation's good, but man, when something like that happens, like the smallest things become the biggest things. So that's just a little tip. But I do want to ask you, like, how do you go about finding amazing marketers? Because that's the number one thing I get asked about.
For me, there's one good move that we started doing that I think everyone here can do, which is go on LinkedIn and just say, who's the best SEO person you know if you're hiring for an SEO manager? Who's the best X? Whatever role you want to hire, you're going to be surprised. Like, people are going to start tagging people. People are going to start mentioning, all the people that are, good, and then just reach out. And, if you have anything kind of in common, just start a conversation. But, I'm a fan of kind of relationships and really getting to know the people that I'm working with more so than like job postings.
Yeah, the best people obviously aren't going to be responding to a job post most of the time, unless they're like in transition.
Yeah.
Here's a question I think most people like here. So you're in a very competitive industry. You didn't raise any money. This is very hard. What kind of tactics did you use to grow without having to spend a ton of money?
Yeah. I was talking to you about this recently. This wasn't an old school thing. This is actually something that we're doing now that I think is pretty crazy. By show of hands, how many people are familiar with Cameo, cameo.com?
That's a lot.
Like 20. Not as much. Well, Cameo.com, it's a website where you can literally get personalized shout-out videos from celebrities, business figures, you name it, Snoop Dogg, whoever you want. And it's pretty cheap. Like, some are $15. I think the most expensive goes up to $1,000, but most people are in the sub-100 category. Send your leads, your prospects, if you have information on them, whether they're cold, warm, or they're an existing customer, send them a Cameo video. Like, get a celebrity to do a personalized shout out. And we've seen that help convert. I mean, it's a one-to-one, communication piece or touch, and it's made a huge impact. I mean, I think you've done it with your employees, no?
I have. Yeah. We did one. We were launching our big, hairy, audacious goal. We had Kevin from The Office do a cameo, so that was cool. Sayed actually did something too with Marcus Lemonis, from The Prophet, and that was really cool as well. How much did it cost you, Sayed? $500. Yeah.
Yeah,
Kevin was only
Snoop
100.
Dogg. Yeah, I think Snoop Dogg does it for a couple $100, and he'll smoke a blunt while he does the personalized video.
And you did that, right? You sent it to me.
Yeah, I've done a Snoop Dogg video.
And how do you guys at Nextiva, because you guys are launching new products all the time, how do you guys approach product launches? Because I think it's confusing sometimes when you guys are known for, let's call it voice services or phone services. So how do you guys do it?
So we launch products a fair amount. One thing that no one's doing right now, in my opinion, or no one's doing well, especially teams, are LinkedIn takeovers. Like, you and your team, same day, like the day the product launches, just get on LinkedIn, make a quick video talking about like how pumped you are, or talk about the product. Don't make it obviously like too awkward, but just like a simple video where you're literally just talking, and you all do that the same day. There's some momentum you'll create, whether your team's just 2 people or 10, 20, whatever it is. LinkedIn takeovers, especially on video, same day, try to push as much kind of engagement or like likes and shares in the first, what would you say, 30 minutes?
Yeah. I'm not the LinkedIn expert. You guys are.
30 minutes? 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And you'll see some good shit happen.
And so, okay, let me get this straight. So when you guys launch, new product launch, let's say you have 20 people on your marketing team. You guys are all doing it, and you guys are all
We're all
uploading?
making, each of us are making a video, and then
You guys are
it
all
just
uploading each other?
spreads. Like,
Yeah.
all of our networks get it. It's great.
So how, Gaetano does this really well. He'll do like a LinkedIn post talking about Nextiva maybe, and he'll get like 500 or 1,000 likes and a ton of views on it, right? So what are you guys doing there to make that happen?
Gaetano's a wizard. If you don't follow Gaetano DiNardi on LinkedIn, I suggest you do that ASAP. He's that gentleman right there in the Miami Heat hat.
Yeah, wave to everyone.
Yeah.
Wave to the people.
Just search Gaetano DiNardi,
Yeah.
Gaetano, Gaetano, Gaetano. DiNardi, DINARDI. This guy does a LinkedIn post, it just blows up. He's really mastered the art of whether it's a video or a text post, just like right from the start. He gets you engaged, gets you in, and it just blows up.
Awesome. How much are you guys spending a month on ads right now, roughly?
AdWords?
Yeah, AdWords, Facebook, combine everything.
AdWords over $500,000.
Okay, so $500,000 you're spending,
Yeah.
so $6 million a
But
year.
because the company is much larger. Like
Yeah.
early days, there was no fucking budget.
Yeah. So right now, I'm assuming because you're spending so much money, obviously you're driving them to optimize landing pages, right? So what kind of copy are you finding, or what kind of techniques are you finding converts well for you for that amount of spend?
I'm gonna share some, then I want you to share some.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
First, does anyone not use exit intent technology? Are you not using exit intent pop-ups?
So no exit pop-ups.
Well, you should. You should start using it. Use Opt-in Monster. Syed, he's got a great company there. But one thing that Syed's kind of taught me is he has a ton of data and just information around the words that get people to convert. You know, what are, especially exit intent language that gets people to act. And very often, when you have like an exit intent pop-up and you just say, you know, learn about SEO services the right way, or anything the right way gets people to act or click. And it's natural, right? Like when you see something and tells you to do it the right way, you obviously don't want to do it the wrong way. And you know, I think the right way is a big one. I'm also a fan of the laws. Like if you have a listicle article, you know, the 40 laws of SEO or 40 laws, the laws of whatever, because I think we're just trained. Like we want to obey laws. We don't want to break laws. You definitely want to like learn about the laws. So laws of is definitely a big one. Turbo is a good one too. You know, any service that you have, like if you have an agency, you know, give them the turbo setup, or anything that you offer, do the turbo. It simply works.
Yep.
It simply works.
I was just going to say that one. Yep.
I like that one a lot too.
Cool. Actually,
How about you?
This other one we actually got from Gaetano. Gaetano's friend in Miami. His name's Tito. And he runs a company that helps people with sales, right? So they do outbound sales, and which it just makes a lot more sense now. It's like when I reach out to you and I say, hey, Yaniv, do you want to do a demo? Like,
No.
who wants to do a fucking demo with you, dude? Like,
No.
30 minutes, can we just get on a call for 30 minutes? Nobody wants that either, right? But if you say, hey, I just did a personalized webinar, that's completely different, right? And so we started changing that copy up with our, whether it's on landing pages or through email outreach, and the performance is significantly higher because we're doing a personalized webinar, which it is, because 20 to 30% of it is personalized. The other 70% or so might be, you know, the quote-unquote demo. But the copy, right? It puts you in a completely different mindset.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely don't want to. Everyone wants to feel special, right?
Is that what you guys are doing this too?
We just started.
Yep. It makes so much sense.
Yeah.
So.
No more demos.
How about on this is not marketing related, but to me it kind of is, because like hiring great people, that to me is like, okay, if I learn how to hire great people, I'm gonna build a great marketing team, right? Or just a great team in general. When I think about how do I also retain those people, just like how I would with a product, that's really important to me as well. So this is always on my mind: culture, right? How do you keep people engaged? How do you retain people? So I don't want this to be like an HR talk, but to me, it's like I like talking about the hacks or like the strategies around retaining people, because that's what's going to help your company grow. So what do you guys do around Nextiva right now with 1,000+ people?
The number one complaint every employee has in a company, maybe not number one, top 5, probably top 3, is communication. I don't care if it's like a 5-person company, 20, 100, 5,000. Employees complain about communication. We heard this a ton, especially when we were smaller. Like, you're a communication company and your communication sucks. like employees just like complaining about our communication. So we're like, okay, let's do something about it. We started sending emails. No one reads the fucking emails. So then we're like, okay, let's like leave papers on people's desks with announcements. No one reads it. And then we're like, okay, let's do bathroom signs. Because we knew that like when they're in the stall or the urinal, like captive, like they're not leaving. So we started to do bathroom signs, and literally we just got, I mean, any announcement that we had, anything we wanted people to do, we got like full participation. And then we took it even further. We started doing, we realized that people hate emails, people hate reading, and we needed to connect another way. So we started doing a weekly TV show. And it's not as big as it sounds. It's not a TV show. It literally started with like me in front of a MacBook Pro, just as monotone as I am, just like sharing information about what's happening in the company. And every Friday, we would just publish a 2 to 3 minute video talking about what's happening. We call it Nextiva, kind of a play on our name. And I mean, we're over 300 episodes, and it's definitely evolved, but it's just a weekly TV show, keeps everyone kind of on the same page, and no one really can say communication sucks anymore.
So wait, the stall thing.
Yeah.
So how did you go on? Like you said, 100% participation.
Yeah, it got so good. We started doing 2 updates a day, like a beginning of the day update, and then like midday update, with just information.
Nextiva. Yeah.
That's a good one. Nextiva.
Cool. I like that. Yeah. So here's the thing. I think who makes the TV show? CEO? No,
it's just in marketing. We have like some people. We get information from like every like department. Mm-hmm. By Wednesday, we want to get like the news or the announcements, and then we just we try to make fun and like make sure it's like a lighthearted video, but it's not fancy and everyone knows what's happening.
Cool. And then what's one creative thing you think you guys are doing right now in terms of customer acquisition?
Creative?
Yeah. Damn.
Give me a second. I'll think about it.
Okay. We can move on from that one. You think about that one.
I have some good ones.
Okay. And then...
Oh, you know what's a good one?
What?
One thing we started doing recently is we incentivize our customer support reps to push our customers to drive reviews on websites that are important. You saw G2 Crowd. Obviously, Ryan was saying like the importance of peer insights or peer reviews are valued. Incentivize your employees to literally write or push happy customers to write positive reviews, and pay them for it because it's going to help your marketing a lot, regardless of company size. Like you can probably do this, and then use that information and just create your own kind of like. We literally have our best element on our landing pages are insanely long lists of us comparing Nextiva to its competitors on every review site. And we started with like 2 sites, like G2 and whatever BBB, and then we just expanded it to like 14. And it's just like rows and rows comparing us to competitors, and people want that information. And then you you add on the idea that it simply works, and
how much do you incentivize your customer support reps?
$20.
$20 per review.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Okay. So that makes sense. And I asked this question earlier to Syed, and I kind of want to know from your side because you're always showing me new stuff. So what's new? What's one new tool you've added in the last year? It's added a lot of value.
A tool?
Could be physical or it could be an app.
Dude, Cameo. Like use that. It's cheap. Like whether it's to an employee, like send it to your friends too.
Well, you gave that one already, so
I know. I need to think of another one.
All right.
Give me a second. I'll come up with something.
Should we just stare at each other?
Yeah. What's one? You tell me a tool.
Wow. Yeah, I think you have to come back to me too. It's late. But
Well,
here,
Hold.io was good.
Oh yeah, hold up. But I used that one already. You got to give new shit.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll come back to it. So how about?
You know what's a good move?
What?
In terms of culture, I picked this up from David Hensel. He's part of a company that's called MaxCDN and now Task Drive. Look, we all want, I think marketing has a big responsibility in most companies to not only be kind of like the voice outside for the brand, but also within the company. Regardless of size, marketing has a big responsibility to, ensure, everyone's on the same page, culture is strong. Whether you're a 5-person company or, 5,000, if your marketing team's 2 people, you can immediately expand your marketing team by engaging everyone in the company. Create as many brand advocates as you can within the company, and just literally promote, make sure everyone's promoting the brand. But one thing David Hensel shared with me that I think was really valuable was this. When employees join his company, he has the vision, mission, and values of the company listed on a sheet of paper on day one that they're required to read. And what he realized was no one was fucking reading it. They had the company values on this piece of paper. People would just glance over it, move on to the next page. One thing he added was at each line, he added initial. Initial your name with this value, initial your name with this value, initial your name, and so on. And then at the end, sign. And there was almost this commitment for people to hold and live the company values that was even greater than in the past.
Yeah, actually, okay, I got something now. You bought me time, and that was really good. We added that as well. But before the end of 2018, we added. So we had a guy from Scaling Up come in, a coach come in, and he brought up this concept of daily huddles. And I was like, dude, I come from startup culture. I know what a stand-up is. I don't want to fucking do stand-ups. But he showed me a video. So the video is if you Google 1-800-GOT-JUNK and you Google daily huddle, you're going to see 1-800-GOT-JUNK transform into, I think they do over $150 or $200 million a year now. And it's because they do these daily huddles. And you can see the setup. It's it's very fast. You're 5 to 10 minutes. Everyone's aligned, and you talk about communication. I think for a smaller company like ours, it's okay, we're going through the numbers really quickly. We're talking about we're nominating people too. So it's there's good feel-good stuff, right? You're nominating people for values at the end of each. So there's 3 nominations, and then we're talking about what's happening in the news, who's working on something, do we have a client coming in or whatever, and then victories too, right? So it's all this feel-good stuff, but I think it's very important because we're all on the same page. So if you Google that, or YouTube it, you'll be able to find, you'll see the small size they were at, and then when they got huge and they had people in different offices, the people in different offices would be on a TV, and they would still all kind of be aligned.
That's cool.
Yeah.
There's one thing that you started using this year that's super valuable too, and that's an iPad Pro. That's game changer. That device has literally changed the way I work.
We should talk about this. So the story behind this, right? And I actually made a YouTube video on this too, if any of you have seen the YouTube video. But what happened was we arrived in Mexico, and then you were in the car and you bust out your iPad Pro, and you're like, bro, you got to get this, right? I'm like, this is stupid. I'm not even going to listen to him. So we keep driving. I didn't think much of it. And then later you started talking about it more and more. And then
and you saw me literally I do all of my work on that device. There's some people, Neil made a good point, some sites or Google Analytics isn't as effective or easy to use on an iPad Pro, but the majority of your tasks in a day can be achieved on that device, except opening up zip files.
Yeah, so let me talk about the benefits, and no affiliate code here. So with the iPad Pro, one guy made a really good point. So when I bought it, I was a little man, I can't unzip CSV files. And then Yaniv was kind of making fun of me. He's like, what else do you need to unzip?
Who's unzipping files these days?
Yeah. So Anyway, we had a mutual friend, Eric. He was like, dude, it's genius. Like, what Yaniv is doing is genius because the iPad actually prevents you from doing other stuff. I can't open like 1,000 million tabs and open like, 4 separate screens. It forces you to focus, and it forces you, if those of you that are executives or owners, it forces you to delegate, right? So that forcing function is really powerful. And now they have like a new OS coming out too, where it's going to be a lot more user friendly. And when you land on a website, it's not going to be just a mobile version, but the battery life lasts forever. Like I flew to, it was a 5-hour flight, I only lost like 30%. Whereas on like my Mac, I would be completely power out. So I'm a huge proponent of it. And Neil and I were recording marketing school episodes, and I was just talking about it. And then lo and behold, before we finished the episode, he already recorded one or bought one, had his assistant buy him one. And like an hour after he got home, he sends me a picture of him working on it. So yeah, it's pretty powerful.
It's a great device.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It was amazing that you came up with. Anyone who wants to grow their company and scale it, get an iPad Pro and focus on that. And every once in a while you may need a computer, but the best piece of advice I got so far this year. It's game changing. You should try it out.
iPad Pro, guys. Cool.
Yeah. Man, buy Apple stock.
Cool. Well, Yaniv, I think we have time for one more question. Is there any, how do you get better at marketing yourself?
Me. Obviously, you, Neil, like being around you guys is immensely powerful. For me, dude, I love LinkedIn. Like, it's really like connect with great marketers on LinkedIn and just look at the content they're sharing. I mean, it's obviously like very similar to Twitter, but I found LinkedIn to be like my source, my new source of great insights. Not really a fan of like articles or a lot of kind of like traditional like entrepreneur Forbes articles. Like anything that's getting posted on those sites is usually old because like the editorial process and just like the people posting there just like are a few steps behind. So I like to really like follow people that are like you and just see what you guys are talking about.
Well, thank you.